Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. And I'm here with my fellow hosts,
I'm Jack.
Joker.
and today we thought we would talk about a certain book that Jack read first, and we all enjoy.
Made us all read afterwards.
Huh?
I did, yes.
Made us all read afterwards.
Yeah. And it was fun. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Ben?
It was a great book.
It is a great book. For the record, we're currently like keeping record of things that we're of media that we're consuming, and me and Jack both gave this a pretty high score. I gave a 9 out of 10. Jack gave a 10 out of 10. Honestly, I probably could give it a 10 out of 10. I'm just a little bit more finicky with my 10 out of 10s. But yeah. And then Joker hasn't put his frickin' review in there, but that's fine.
Yeah, he did.
No, you didn't. Where's your rating? You didn't put your rating in there. In the.
Hold on.
Now he looks at it.
Hold on, just try on this one.
It's this one. It's I have the spot open. I have it highlighted.
Oh, there it is.
There you go. Good boy. Okay. So let's see what. And Joker gives it an 8 out of 10. Of course he does. So yeah. You're also putting in your other reviews. Yeah, do that. Make sure you get your reviews in. But that's beside the point. But basically what we're saying is it's a good book. You should read it. We'll probably talk more about it in a future video. But that's a long ways off. We've got to get some shit done before then. But yeah, so we thought we would at least do a dedicated video about the Swifts and talk about like what we enjoyed about it. So for the record, as to exactly what happened, how each of us read this. Jack read it. Actually, physically has the book and read it, right?
Yes.
Okay, I read it on Audible, and I'm assuming, Joker, you read it. You listened to it on Libby, right? Joker. Uh-oh, we lost him. But I think that's I think that's right. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, he listens to books just like you do. It's weird, but whatever.
I have problems with reading physical books, so
Well, so do I. I just, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I can do it. It's just a lot. Physical books. Physical books are hard for me. I don't know why. It's
That's
not.
fair. No, I'm not judging, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Can do really well with manga, but physical.
Yeah, well, no, that's the usual thing. Like when I was younger, it took a lot for me to read physical books or like word books because
Yeah.
the words were like funky and weird. Because hey, I'm fucking dyslexic. Who knew?
Yeah.
And now as I'm older, I've gotten to figure out also that I have this really cool thing called binocular dysfunction, which means my eyes are cousins, not twins, which is super fucking annoying.
Oh, does that have? Is that part of the reason why you had a really hard time with
Depth perception?
Yeah, depth perception.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because most people's eyes work as identical twins, where they do, where one goes, so does the other. My eyes focus differently. My eyes just, they work all by themselves.
Oh,
They're
that's
independent assholes.
that's annoying.
It is weird. It was weird to have a doctor be like, well, that's a thing that's happening, and I was like, great.
Oh
It's
my gosh.
fabulous. It's just absolutely fabulous.
That just sounds so freaking annoying.
It's just weird because mostly it's my left eye, where like my right eye is the one that does most of the work, even though my left eye is my dominant eye. It's
Oh, that's even weirder. It's
Yeah, so
it's
like
kind
my
of like
right eye is the one that focuses really well and like can see better and does most of the reading and all of that stuff. But my left eye is the one that I like have to use to if I go to close my eye without like my hand, my right eye closes.
oh weird.
Yeah, so my left eye is the one that if I'm like shooting a rifle or looking in a microscope, that's the one I have to use. It's weird.
That is that is very weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
I'm not yeah, okay. That that's fun.
The weirdest part of it, Zephram, is I will literally catch myself. I'll sit there reading, and I will catch myself only reading the right hand half of the page.
Oh, fun.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. I think most of my issue is more with the ADHD because I'm constantly losing my spot.
That too, yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
There is
The next book I'm gonna have you guys read that's similar to the Swifts in the sense that it's a YA novel that's just kind of odd but awesome is called The Blue Umbrella.
oh fun. When
It's
did that
an
come?
older one.
Okay,
It
so
came out. It came out originally in 2009. I was in Texas when I first got it. I got it as a brand new book from my aunt for my birthday or Christmas or something. I don't know, some gift giving holiday. And she gave me a couple of books that were just super obscure and I really liked them and I still enjoy them. So like The Blue Umbrella was one of them, and then the other one I'm not going to make you guys read, but I think I like, and I'm trying to find a copy of, is called In Front of God and Everybody: The True Confessions of April Grace.
oh fun.
And it was just like it was just a girl set in 1985 out in the country, and it was just a silly, fun slice of life, and I thought it was cute.
I should make you guys read Lily Quench.
Yes. And then also I think you guys should read The Mysterious Benedict Society.
Yeah, I need to finish watching the show. I'm so
Yes.
far behind.
The first episode is pretty much exactly the key, like, minute for minute by the book, and then after that it kind of falls apart. But generally, the first episode is pretty much minute for minute.
Okay.
So, yeah, I enjoyed the show, but it wasn't perfect, you know.
Well, I mean, what show is? I mean,
No, it was definitely up there for me in terms of shows that have been made from books and stuff.
yeah.
I also appreciate that they went with show, not movie, because there's a lot of detail in that book
Yeah.
that you have to have in there.
Yeah.
It's not like some books where there's detail. It's not like The Hobbit, right, where you don't have to spend 87 years explaining a plant because it can just simply exist in the frame. Instead, like, this one is like the details you need to know are visual in the sense that, like, one of the things is they use Morse code to communicate,
Yeah.
but they use it via light, and so the you have to see the light flickering. You'd also have to see certain things, and it's just
Fun.
The one thing that was different was that the director of the school was just vastly different, and I was not happy about that. That was my big complaint.
Dream theory.
Yeah.
Because in the book, he's described in such a way that you're like, oh. And it makes sense based on who the character is and who the other character is that, it's who he's related to. And, like...
Yeah.
It's interesting. So, you just have to have those details, so I'm really glad they made it a show, not a movie. Anyway.
Yeah. Back to the Swifts.
The Swifts, yes. I'm holding my copy in my hand right now, and one of the things that's really cool is that drew me to this book is that in the book they discuss that they have a maze, a hedge maze on their property.
Yeah.
And the physical book itself, on the page edges, there is a hedge maze. And then on the top and bottom, it's just printed, and it's just a pretty pattern. And then on the outer edge, there is an actual maze that you are supposed to be able to do. It says there's start on one side and end on the other.
Fun.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Another thing you don't get in the audiobook, of course, is the illustrations. The illustrations are by Claire Powell, who's one of my actually she does a lot of YA illustrations. She has a very distinct style, and I really really like her style. It's very whimsical, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's hard to describe.
Well, we do have the picture of the book itself on the.
The book itself, I'm sure. Yeah, the title, the cover.
Yeah, we have the cover, which that's
Yeah,
a good
so you can
that's a good
see-
representation of what she can do.
It is, yeah. And so in the book, she also does all of the chapter titles, and then there's periodic pages of like full page illustrations, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, I'll
Usually
probably
to
get the
make up
physical
a point.
version at some point. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
So
It
I
is
have.
like $9.99 on Amazon versus no, it was $9.99 at Barnes and Noble too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this book, it was surprising in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Also,
in-
I think it's kind of funny. At the beginning of the, I'm assuming that this was in the physical book as well. They specifically say at the beginning that this is the this is the American version, but they still if it's for a name, they will use the
yes.
they'll use
It
the
talks about how
the European
English
version.
language is a just a very weird amalgamation of many languages,
Absolutely.
and so we made a few changes in mind. You might already know that the British call chips crisps and fries chips, and many of those words remain, but we've switched out a few things to more familiar. Yeah, and it talks about the story or the spelling, excuse me, where it's analyze, soup, whatever.
Yeah.
And they said, which is really funny because I think it's really hilarious that he specifically mentions candor. Oh no, sorry, it was endeavor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I thought he mentioned candor. I thought that was I was gonna say like that's so fucking funny. But no, it's endeavor.
Yeah. I wanna
Ew.
get like a European or a British version and a American version, and then just line them up next to each other just to show how different they are.
I would love to know how different they are.
Because that would be absolutely amazing to just see what
I
the.
feel like it's pretty minute,
Yeah, it's definitely got to be pretty minor. I think it was interesting though. Just for an example of something kind of similar, Skandar, the audiobook version of Skandar is all done through the British English. So you're if you read along with it as you're with your physical book and the audiobook, there's going to be several differences between them because of the fact that they changed up quite a bit. So it would be very interesting to see like the if that's like pretty small stuff, but I'm assuming that's a lot more of that. And I think another thing that's going to be kind of interesting is like with the British and American versions, getting seeing how the names versus the actual word are spelled and stuff. It's gonna be fun. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm curious to see exactly how they decide to do it. But yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly if I will ever be able to get the different versions, but I don't know. That would be it would be interesting if Amazon actually sells both versions.
I'm not sure because I mean my copy of Skandar is pretty damn British.
Yeah, it's still pretty British. It's just like there's a few different things.
God, Skandar's obsession with
What the
mayonnaise. I swear to God.
Jack, you're gonna flip.
Yeah.
You're gonna flip.
Wow. Why?
In 2020, so this year, in August, there's gonna be another book.
Yeah.
So we technically we can make this. We could probably put. We don't. We probably shouldn't put it as in the new period thing for what we're
We're
doing.
not putting it in the new period.
Yeah, since obviously it's the first book was new to us, but yeah, that's fun. That's fun that we're gonna be getting a second book before long. I thought that they were done with it. Like it felt like a complete story.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Are you talking about Skandar or the Swifts?
The Swifts is getting a second book.
Excuse me? What the? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, notice how I said second book,
No,
not
the Swifts does go into new period. Yes. Just because it came out in December of 2023. I checked.
yeah. So you think we should put it in? Currently, it's. I think that.
Yeah, it was a Christmas release. So.
Yeah. I think that because of the way that we've got this currently, I think it's best to have it be new to us instead of new period. But we'll see. We'll discuss it and figure things out. Especially.
I only vote new period because there was no possible chance for me to have seen it beforehand, because Barnes and Noble wasn't open for me before that.
Yeah, fair enough. So, like I said, we'll discuss it, and since it does have a second book coming, I think that's fair, especially since that's going to be in August.
All right.
So, like I said, we'll discuss it, figure it out. That's going to be something for us. And for those of you who are wondering, we're not going to say what we're talking about.
Wait, what?
No, we're not going to tell you exactly what we're talking about. That's ridiculous.
Hang on, I'm in Chicago. I missed the connection flight. What happened?
Because we we were talking about the thing
We're
that
getting
we're
a second book for the Swifts.
yes, we're people are I'm sure that people are wondering what we're talking about with new to total and new period.
Oh yeah.
And we're not going to tell you. That's a secret for later.
It's a secret duel for later.
If maybe people will put together the pieces, especially considering the fact that we have a thing going over the ratings and shit. I don't know.
Well, it's not like they have access to our Google Docs.
No, definitely not. So yeah, and we'll wait. But what the fuck?
What?
I just so I'm looking at I'm just looking at our ratings, and for some reason Joker put 0 out of 10 for Husband Hotel, and I'm like, you didn't watch that. You're not gonna watch that. What are you doing?
Bitch, don't rate stuff you're not gonna and you haven't watched.
I'm changing that to NA.
Yeah, nah, bruh.
You can't rate it. But yeah.
Dune. Oh man, you gave Dune 2 a 3 out of 10. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's more of just like my I have issues. It felt boring to me, and it just felt really long. So I don't know. Like if I just don't feel like I could, like it's not something that I would rewatch. I understand why people would why people like it and stuff like that. It's just it's not for me. That's my big thing that I was trying to say with that. So, but yeah. So if both of you end up liking it, then we can then it could get a 2/3 reward. But I don't know. Anyways, we should stop talking about that. Do you think we should talk about any spoilers for the Swifts? Because it's like obviously the book has been out for several months now.
Well, since we're just talking about it for the first time, I think saying right now, like, if you're gonna read it, don't continue listening because I want to talk about spoilers.
Yeah, fair enough. So,
so if you're
5,
gonna read
4,
it,
3,
continue
2,
listening
1, and everyone should be
and
gone.
Stop listening.
Go. Okay. Talk.
Okay, so one of my favorite things about this book is that one of the earliest moments when the family first arrives at the house, we meet Urf. And Urf, we see some struggle in Shenanigan. When Shenanigan is not sure. They're not sure. She's not sure what gender Urf is. And she's kind of having a hard time with that. She's like, I don't know what to call them. Like, what...
Yeah.
This was really hard, whatever. And then she talks to them, and she says, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And Earth says, of course, "Well, hi, I'm Earth, and I'm not a boy or a girl." And Shenanigan's only response is, "Wow, I didn't know you could do that."
Yeah.
Which I think is hilarious because it really shows that, like, her family doesn't really give a fuck about things like that.
Yeah.
But that they also, like, in the sense that they don't make it a big deal, they also don't really talk about it, right? So
Yeah.
Earth would have had to have sought that out somewhere. They would have had to have known, like, something feels weird, and I need to know, like, what's going on.
Yeah.
They also clearly have a very different life than Shenanigan, who lives in the main house. So,
Yep.
you know, who knows? And so, first we meet them. And that is fabulous. One of the things that I would love to point out, and I really hope that someday, somehow, the Swifts gets a TV show adaptation that's done, like, Princess Bride style, where the author writes the screenplay, you know?
Yeah.
I know it's not gonna happen, but a boy can dream. Anyway, so if they did, though, I cannot wait to see Earth's sweaters, because they knit them all themselves.
Oh, that sounds so much
If you read
fun.
periodically, every time someone compliments their sweater, they tell them what it's supposed to look like. And so far, I counted at least 3 times. There's one that's a deadhead moth, one that's a poison dart frog, and one that is a praying mantis, I think they said.
I think you're right.
But yeah, like, they knit them themselves to look like pieces of nature, which is the most non-binary thing that's literally ever been done in the world. Second only to naming yourself after a plot of empty land, Earth.
Yeah, that's amazing.
If you're trying to write a non-binary character, just take notes from Beth Lincoln, because god dang it, did she do it perfectly. Like, holy cow, did she just nail the non-binary energy with this tiny human who wears big floppy sweaters that they knit themselves to look like obscure but beautiful pieces of nature, and then named themselves after dirt. Like, if that's not non-binary energy, I literally don't know what is.
Yeah.
Like, beautiful. No notes, expertly done.
Yeah.
And then my favorite thing about Earth, and this was a really touching, very brief scene where I believe it's Fauna says to Earth, "I know how you feel, because when I was born, everyone thought that I was a boy. And it took until I could talk to tell them that that was wrong. And then they felt so embarrassed that they had mistaken, and everything changed." And she goes on to explain it, and it's a very it's a very brief but very special moment. And Shenanigan comments something that I think is kind of crucial. She comments that she knows it's a very touching and heart-to-heart moment, but she also knows that it's not hers to understand, which is really a cool thing to kind of sit with for a second there, because I totally get that, right? Like, my connection with someone who has recently discovered themselves to be trans is going to be a lot different than, say, like, Camille's, who is definitely LGBTQ, but is not trans, so she doesn't have the same understanding of, like, coming into feeling how your body feels and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's like that connection is just a very beautiful little teensy-weensy thing, and it makes me wonder if Beth Lincoln is queer in some way, because she just did a fabulous job writing these characters.
Yeah,
like a way that's not shoving the queerness down your throat, but it's also making it clear that that's a normal part of life and shouldn't be thought of as anything that's bizarre or unacceptable, because it's just what it is.
Yeah.
Off that topic, the amount of twists and turns in this book, it makes total sense to me why it is donned with a maze, for sure. And the way she framed Daisy was just, it
Chef's
was so
kiss.
good.
Yeah, honestly, I have to say, so I'm pretty good with figuring out mysteries pretty early on, and
yeah,
so basically what happened was, as soon as Shenanigan was like, "Oh, it's got to be Daisy," I was like, "Oh, it's definitely not."
yeah.
But I had a feeling that it was definitely that it was likely Candor was doing something pretty early on.
See,
Like,
my thing here was I thought it was Daisy until Shenanigan did.
yeah,
Because as soon as it was her handwriting, but she was also present for a lot of things, I was like, wait.
yeah. So like, it was
Because
weird.
She had some pretty clear alibis.
Yeah. I think it's just so weird.
And there was a couple of Rear Window moments where, like, Shenanigan heard one sketchy thing and decided that they were actually plotting, like, the rest of the family's murder. So, that was funny. Where I was like, it was not a great conversation, but they weren't necessarily guilty just for that,
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it was really interesting just the way that they did it, because it was like, clearly, they wanted you to think that it was Daisy all the way up until the end, but as things were happening, I was like, wait, is it Daisy? No, obviously it can't be Daisy, because Shenanigan has been steadfast. It is not. She thinks it's Daisy. There is no possible way that she is right, because they in most murder mysteries, the person that the main character thinks is the killer is not the fucking killer. So, like, unless you're Sherlock Holmes, you're usually wrong the first time. So, and it was like, and then when the gun thing happened, I was like, or not the gun, the crossbow thing happened, I was like, it's not Daisy, it's fucking Candor.
No, as soon as it was a crossbow, I was like, it's definitely not Daisy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like, it's like 100% at that point, it's Candor. Like, I had an inkling pretty early on.
I knew I didn't like Candor.
Yeah.
For whatever, like, I knew that I didn't like Candor. But on the other hand, I also thought I didn't like Atrocious and her sister, or her brother, so...
Yeah. Which is also another interesting thing about them, is that, they have, like, a whole bunch of husbands and between them, and
no,
it's
they have two husbands, one each.
No, they've had a whole bunch of husbands. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, they have had, yeah. They have a rotating door of husbands. Yes.
Yes, they have a rotating door of husbands, and it's just like, that is a very interesting way to show that Peak is gay, because it was like, you don't really think about it right away. You think about you're just like, oh yeah, they both had left a long line of terrible life choices and hurt a lot of husbands. But then you're like, oh wait, he's gay, duh.
Yep. That was how much the family did not give a damn.
Yeah, and also I have to say, I love Maelstrom's line when they're discussing the patriarch. When Shenanigan and Maelstrom are discussing the patriarch / matriarch, and how when there is someone of a new gender, they will get to choose what their title will be.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads me to think that Beth.
I think Earth's gonna be if Beth Lincoln keeps writing this and it ends up being a series, Earth's gonna be the matriarch or the leader, the ruler, the
Whatever
they
they decide their
decide.
name's gonna be.
Hell, they could be like a Ent. I don't know.
That would be hilarious if they go with Ent.
Ent Earth.
Yeah, that would be absolutely fucking hilarious. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly what they decide to do. Personally, I would just love to see exactly how how Beth Lincoln decides to write this, because it's just gonna be like obviously. So at this point in time, I have no idea how many books they're planning on writing.
Wow.
Because the first book, it felt like it was concluded. The story was concluded, and you could basically, it was left up to your imagination exactly what Shenanigan was going to do when with the treasure, because you don't know. So yeah. I don't know. I'm excited to see exactly what they're going to do.
I mean, you have a pretty good idea. It says Shenanigan tore the page into little pieces and scattered them onto the lake.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so it's pretty likely
she
that
destroyed the fucking map. She's pretty much saying we're not gonna go looking for this shit.
yeah. But at the same time, I'm wondering since she knows where it is, she knows that she doesn't know what she'll want in a few years.
That's true.
So it's definitely a possibility that she may decide.
I actually think the second one's probably not going to be about finding the treasure.
It probably
I think it's
isn't.
gonna
It
have
doesn't
something-
look like it's going to be about the treasure. It looks like it's going to be some Shenanigan and her sisters are going to France and hanging out with the I don't know. I really don't know. I think that
If Earth is not in the second one, I'm not reading it.
I mean, fair. He's not on the cover, but there's only 4 characters on the
They.
cover.
They.
Did I say he? I'm sorry.
You did. They are a they. We don't actually even know their assigned gender,
Yeah,
which I think is awesome.
yeah.
It is never clear. We never hear their dictionary name, and we never hear their assigned gender.
Yeah. Sorry. They're not on the cover. It's a different character. I think this character has not been introduced yet. It is a child. They are a child, whoever they are. But they're yeah. It would be funny if it was like Maelstrom's kid or something, and that they just Maelstrom just happens to have a kid, and but he also has his duty to the family, and that's why he was over.
The Swifts, a gallery of rogues.
Yeah. So I'm curious what they're going to be doing, because I'm wondering if maybe they're going to since she has the Le French dictionary, I'm wondering if that's if they are over in they're with the French family, the French side of the family.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're hanging out with Pamplemouse's family.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. Wait, is Pamplemousse still alive?
No, he's dead.
That's what I thought. I thought Pamplemousse died.
Yeah, like
Do
like
you
I
know
said,
what
it's his
pamplemousse means?
No, what does it mean?
Pamplemousse is French for grapefruit.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, I would love to see if it's actually like his entire side of the family, and they're just hanging out with that, and then maybe this kid is actually his child, who's
Oh, that's something cool.
who maybe they're not old enough to have to come to the reunion or whatever. Well, no,
Cool.
I don't know, because Phenomena's young. Well, it's hard to think. It's kind of a weird situation, because I think because obviously Shenanigan, Felicity, and Phenomena they live at the house, so so it's not necessarily that because Felicity was the only one who was old enough to go to the previous one.
Cool.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm intrigued to see exactly what they're gonna do. But I'm also thinking if maybe Phenomena is just she was too young. She's technically too young to be there, but at the same time she's since she lives there, it's like they're not gonna kick her out for the frickin' thing, for the reunion. But I don't know. It's intriguing to see what like. I want to see what the heck they're going to be doing. But also, I'm wondering who all of the different people in the paintings are. Because there's definitely... like, each of them has to be, like, somewhat important. Like, what if... like, maybe the detective-looking guy is Candor? No, it couldn't be Candor. I don't think it's Candor. Or... Well, no, it couldn't be Candor because he lived in America. Or what... I think. I don't know. But, I don't know. I'm curious to see who that is. It's, I'm assuming that or maybe it's Vile. That would be interesting.
Are you trying to tell me that this kid is Vile?
No, the painting next to him.
Oh, the painting. Yeah, it probably is, because they do mention Vile's painting.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see exactly what they're going to be doing, but I also feel like this isn't their... I don't think this is the house. I think that this is something else. But I don't know. I feel like I said. I feel like this is probably one of the other houses. But we shall see. We shall see what they decide. What they decide to do. it's gonna be fun, and we will discuss. Probably we'll discuss this book as well, and you, me, and Joker will have to discuss in private about whether or not we want to have what we want to do with the Swifts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we shall see. It's looking very fun. It's been fun, and yeah, well, it's gonna be. I can't wait to read more. At the same time, I was like, wait, this story feels finished. So
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, I wonder what exactly Beth Lincoln is thinking of doing, because pretty much everything is up in the air at this point. Do we want to put up the discuss the disclaimer about the frickin' about why it can be a little bit much for some people, or do we want?
Yeah, just because there is a scene where so it is a murder mystery, and that means there is murder in it.
Yes.
And one of the things actually the first death is an accident, but then it's not.
Yeah,
It's hard to explain.
It's hard to explain that, but yeah.
The first death is an idiot.
Well, we should probably start with the attempted murder before we.
The attempted murder is, she falls down the stairs. That
Yeah.
That can happen to pretty much anybody, and so it's not like that's not going to terrify a child quite the same way as the description of Gumshoe's death is, because Gumshoe, I mean, Shenanigan quite literally says that there's a statue where his head used to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So that there's a reason that this is a young adult book. Because it is it can be a lot.
What it says is she could look right into the room at the shiny tips of Gumshoe's shoes and the sprawl of his trench coat against the carpet, at his hand loosely holding a book, and the white marble bust of Granduncle Vile stained with red that now occupied the spot where his head used to be.
Yeah, that's.
And I was like, what a way to end a chapter, God.
Yeah, that it can absolutely. For some people, that is absolutely going to be disturbing. And then later on, they do discuss cannibalism.
They do, and then you also find out later on that Gumshoe was not in fact killed by the marble bust of Granduncle Vile. It is in fact because he was stabbed
an idiot
through the skull with a crossbow because he's a moron. Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't check for traps, and.
I know.
But yeah, and I mean,
clearly they didn't have a very good initiative either.
Yeah, they straight up told everybody at the beginning of the thing, which actually, pointing that out, speaking of which, he wasn't there for the disclaimer that, hey, don't go in the library, it's dangerous.
That's true.
So it makes complete sense that he would just think, oh, I can just grab whatever book I want, if I need to figure something out.
However, my favorite detail in the entire book is, why the fuck did Candor take the steering wheels?
It wasn't Candor. It was Gumshoe.
Why did Gumshoe take all the fucking steering wheels?
Because he didn't want anyone to escape while he was doing while he was trying to figure it out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that was the funniest detail, where they sat there and they were like, all the steering wheels are gone, and I was like, what the
yeah.
The tires or something. What?
Yeah, and apparently someone at the end of the book when they're going over everything, they're like asking Candor, why the heck did you take everyone's steering wheels? And he's like, I didn't do that. And then one of the family members goes, oh no, yeah, I think I saw Candor doing or not Candor. I saw Gumshoe throwing something in the lake on the first night or whatever. And it was like, oh yeah, that's he's the one who did it. And then they basically just jumped to the conclusion that he was trying to make sure that nobody got out of there while he was doing his investigation.
Yeah.
Which, he's an idiot, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting. Like, to a certain degree, I think that maybe he wasn't as much of an idiot as we think. Like, it sounds like he's a complete and utter buffoon. But maybe he's not. Maybe he wasn't, and he just because he missed the fact that hey, the library is dangerous, nobody go in there, he was being a detective, looking through a whole bunch of shit.
Why was he in the category of books for lawyers and probably nobody else, though?
Huh? What'd you say?
Why was he in the category of books for lawyers and probably nobody else?
I think that that was probably because he had discussed some things with some of the stuff with Daisy, and it's quite possible that Daisy had like hinted that things were not okay with her and Candor.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm curious if maybe he actually did find out that he had like his suspicions, and he was more concerned with, hey, I can see that she is in panic. Let me grab this book that will probably be able to help her.
True.
So I don't know. I really do not know exactly what they're planning on doing, but he also had I think it was the law and law of the Swifts or whatever is what he had.
Yeah.
So it was maybe he was like trying to figure out, okay, can we press charges? Can we like, is the family going to press charges? Maybe he was trying to figure out, okay, maybe he did actually figure out that Candor was the one who did it, but he was also trying to figure out, okay, are they going to actually do anything to take down Candor? Is anyone, even if I do figure out who attempted murder, are they actually going to, if I prove that this is actually, if I can prove to everyone that this is Candor who's doing this, would the family actually do anything? So, maybe that's what he was trying to figure out, but I don't know. It's interesting because, like, obviously he's a dumbass.
The answer is no.
The probable answer is no, he's a dumbass, because he is a dumbass, but...
No, what I'm saying is the family going to do anything? No.
Yeah, exactly. So...
They were all like, don't call the police, and then someone did, and they were like, what the hell?
Yeah, so...
Like, bro, there's been murders! Not singular, plural.
Yeah.
Murders!
Yeah, and Pamplemousse was the second
Family
murder.
fucking reunion! Call the damn police!
Yeah. Was, I forget if it was it Candor, or was it, or was it, I think it was Gumshoe who cut the phone line as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, that's another thing, is like, why did he cut that?
That one was arrogance and stupidity.
Probably. Yeah, he's definitely a dumbass. There's no denying that, but at the same time, I'm wondering if, like, maybe he actually, maybe he's not as dumb as we think he is. I don't know. Like, he's clear.
You can be a dumbass without being truly stupid, I guess.
Yeah. So it's intriguing to wonder. But obviously we won't know for sure. We don't know for sure.
Because he is the dead.
He is dead. But I'm wondering if maybe that's another possibility. Is like, maybe they're actually gonna be dealing with Gumshoe and his family, or specifically his family, and then they'll find out that actually he was a pretty good detective and found out things that people didn't.
Well, it is set in France. If she's got that French dictionary, I bet.
Yeah, it's likely French.
And Gumshoe is aggressively British. So.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see exactly what they're going to be doing. But also, I think it's funny that the word that Pamplemousse lost to was somebody else's name, and the
what?
The word that made Pamplemousse lose in the Scrabble battle to the death.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was somebody's name, and it's like,
word. I should hope it is. It's my name.
Yeah, like that felt just like, what the fuck, dude?
No, that was just so funny because that was just a nod to the fact that they're all named after dictionary words. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and I think part of the it made me wonder if maybe Candor was using specifically people's names, so that
it didn't sound like it, honestly.
No, it didn't. But at the same time, I'm like, we didn't know most of the people who were mentioned. But at the same time, there's a lot more people there than we know.
I mean, you'd think that the people might have said something.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a detail that I feel like Shenanigan would have noticed.
Yeah, but also Shenanigan. We know all of the people that Shenanigan knows. So, and
Well, yeah, but she also would have no, but like the detail of people reacting to, hey, that's my name. Hey, that's my name. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's definitely
Their
fair.
family is not exactly a quiet group. They're gonna react if he's using exclusively names.
Yeah,
You know, especially if it's the idea that a murderer is using their names to play Scrabble to the death. Yeah, no, they'd notice that.
yeah. But I do have to say, like, in a situation like that, it's like, do you really want the guy to die? Is like they knew that it was a thing to the death, and it's like, and yet when the guy uses your name, the killer uses your name as a word, and the other person thinks that it's not a word. Do you think you should? I wouldn't call that out. Like what? Maybe I'm just. Maybe I care too much about people, but I don't know. What do you think? Do I care too much?
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. It's so stupid, and it's just like, dude, don't call out the fact that if the person thinks that it's not a real word, and they are going up against a murderer, don't fucking call it out. Like, if everyone else is like, yeah, that's definitely not. If he says it's not a word, then everybody agrees it's not a word. Especially when you're dealing with a killer. I don't know. It's just that one moment just.
I think you're overthinking it, guy.
Maybe a little bit. Like after the killer has been dealt with, though, then you say, actually, it was my name. I just didn't want to say anything. But I don't know. That's my thought process. But also I think it's funny that so I'm wondering exactly what happened because I don't think they specifically mentioned why Daisy took him to the took Candor to the center of the maze, because it like in order to kill him, but I don't so I'm wondering why exactly they did that. I think maybe it was just to show that Shenanigan knows this place really well and could make it through there.
No, I think the reason Daisy took him into the middle of the maze was so that nobody would find him, and
fair enough.
Then it would be over.
Yeah.
People would stop dying. The family would be like, "All right, cool, we're done here," and go home.
Yep, probably. But of course, at the same time, they're planning on cook at this point in time, which is just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was weird. They went a little nuts there.
They really do, and it's just like, and that's another thing that kind of pisses me off is just like the people that they chose as that they decided, okay, these are the people that we think are the killers. The two people that got the most votes were Cook and Daisy, the two outsiders, and then I think after that it was the wife of Fontissimo, right? I think. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, you just...
Okay. Speaking as someone from a very large and very loyal and very aggressive and passive-aggressive family, that is exactly what would happen.
Yeah. And that's
100%. If shit hit the fan and someone fucking murdered someone in my dad's family, the first person to be looked at would be my dad, my mom, and my aunt.
Frickin'. Yeah.
And dead ass, because they're the outsiders.
That is just disturbing. That's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Like,
I've been married to the men of the family for fucking 30 years, but they're the outsiders. They're not from here.
That's disturbing.
It's not the same anymore, you know. It's much less than it was because it's been, 30 years. But it is funny when things like that happen. You're just like, seriously?
They've been here for years. You're gonna be a jackass. That Yeah. I mean, to be fair, most like the only person who had been like Cook had been there for a long time, and people were just complete jackasses to her. Holy.
They really were, which was really annoying to me.
Yeah, like she like from what it sounded like she had been at the previous one, and it was like at the previous reunion, and it's just like
It did sound like that, yeah.
and yet they're everyone is treating her like she's just the help, and it's like,
Right?
dude, she is not the help. She took the name Cook because it was what the dictionary what they believed the dictionary chose.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just, and also another thing is like Daisy and whatever her name is, Fontussimo's wife. They hadn't gotten dictionary names. So
They don't.
yeah, they don't have dictionary names, and it's like at least Cook was actually given a freaking a family name. She was considered a part of the family by the at that point. Well, granted, she was not the current matriarch, but she was the previous matriarch, at least as they saw it, because they thought she was dead at that point.
True.
So, which also I have to say, the way that she does that is just hilarious. That she just pretends that she's the way that she pretended that she was dead, but also it's annoying as fuck that no one would listen to the people who knew her and knew that she didn't want what they were doing.
Right?
That pissed me
They're
off.
like, literally, like, we have fucking practiced this funeral every freaking month for so goddamn long. If you don't listen to us, I swear to God, I'm gonna put you in the hole with her.
They really should have said that. Like, I would, if Maelstrom had actually said that, I would have been like, yes, fuck yeah. Because
Alright, I'm in the commie.
you're, oh, cool, nice. Just a complete change of subject, but
Sharp left turn, sorry.
oh my gosh. But yeah, you know what's also kind of fun though, with now that we've discussed the Swifts, we've got a few more books that are coming out this over the next few months, and it's basically like a continuation of a series for the next for 2 months at least. With April we are getting Fireborn 3, and then in May we're getting Skandar 3. And I think when is the next do you know when the next Percy Jackson is coming out, or have they announced?
I don't know, no.
I know it's soon, I just don't remember when. Let's take a look, see if I have it here. And I do not have it here. Okay, let me see if I can find that new Percy Jackson book, because I think it's soon. I don't remember exactly when though. To be fair, you're behind. So I do have to say though, I loved book 6. That was so much fun.
Of Percy Jackson?
Yeah, The Chalice of the Gods. It's a really good book.
I have not read it yet. How long have we been going?
About 50 minutes. So yeah, one sec. I just want to make sure when this is coming out. September. So that's in September. So I think we're at this point in time we're skipping June and July for new books for major series, but we're we're getting so obviously, like I said, Fireborn 3 is next month. Skandar 3 is the following month, and then we skip June and July, and then in August we get the Swifts, Gallery of Rogues, and then in September we get Percy Jackson, and the Wrath of the Triple Goddess. Which that sounds so much fun. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with that. I hope that he can get his frickin' all of his well, obviously he gets all of his recommendations because he's going to college in freaking Apollo, but yeah. But also, I'm wondering if they're going to reveal exactly where in the timeline Apollo happens, because at this point in time, so for the record as to where everything currently is on the timeline, it's Percy Jackson, Kane Chronicles, kind of simultaneously. It's a bit complicated there. Heroes of Olympus, and then the new series with the continuation of the main Percy Jackson series with 6, 7, and then however far they're going to go with that.
I would imagine he's probably going to go to 10, just because he tends to do it in either 5s or 4s.
Well, 3s. Because...
Yeah, or either 3s or 5s, sorry.
Yeah. So then, so I think at this point in time that one of the books for the trying to get to college Percy Jackson series, that is going to be so that's probably going to cross over somewhat with Apollo, because it's happening at the same time. This is his last year of college, or his last year of high school, and Apollo takes place in his in like the last few months of high school, because he's in the final book of Apollo, he's literally driving to the new school, So
does he go to college in the Roman camp?
Yep.
Nice.
So,
is there more than one college there?
Nope. It's just the Roman college, but yeah. New Rome College, or whatever it's fucking called. New Rome University, that's what it's called. So, yeah. And then after that is The Sun and the Star, which is such a good book. Like, honestly, that book was amazing. I can't wait to see if he does if they do more of in the world of Percy Jackson. But I don't think they've announced anything else yet.
Is that about his little sister, you said?
No, The Sun and the Star is about Will Stallis and Nico.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it's a really cute love story between the two of them. So yeah, it's also very hard, because they do have some conflicts and stuff like that. But at the same time, Nico is struggling with has been struggling with his sexuality his entire life, while Will didn't have as much of a struggle. So, yeah, there is that. But yeah, do they have anything else on this yet, or am I crazy? No. I think right now, Rick's main priority is obviously the sequel, whatever it's gonna be, for Percy Jackson, the last few books. And then, as well as the TV show, because he needs to, obviously they need to get the TV show done, because these kids are aging fast. So, yeah, we'll probably be seeing a lot more of that before long. So, yeah. But anyways, that's probably a good spot for us to end this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this nerd chat. I've been Electro Ninja. Joker was here briefly. Don't know where he disappeared off to. And he's been Jack, and we will see you guys next time. But on.
Bye.